Well, Mercedes just ruined Lewis Hamilton's send-off, didn't they? And he actually has a decent car for once. Unbelievable scenes in qualifying in the last race of the 2024 season at Abu Dhabi. Lewis Hamilton out in Q1, and really not his own fault for various reasons. There wasn't a single reason. Yes, most people will say it's because of a pesky bollard that got stuck under his car. Actually, it got full-on yeeted into his car by Kevin Magnussen, trying to get out of Lewis's way. Not just Lewis, many a driver, as he was kind of stuck in no man's land through turn 13 and 14. But while that did give him, no doubt, some lack of performance in the last couple of corners where it is needed, he was sent out so late. Both Mercedes drivers actually were sent out very late. The last of any of the drivers in Q1, and because there was a big backup of cars joining the circuit out of the terrible pit lane exit at Abu Dhabi, still not a fan of it, under the bridge, they barely, both of them, made it round to the start-finish line to be able to start their laps. And surprise, surprise, guess what that means? No prep lap, tyres not in the correct temperature window, and of course, that means lack of grip and just continually chasing your tail pretty much around the whole lap. Now, it does seem that actually Lewis would have had enough to maybe have made it through to Q2 if the bollard situation didn't occur. But there was no need for him to even be in this situation. Toto Wolff has even stated this himself and has come out very vocally on the radio at the time to Lewis and in Sky German TV afterwards. He said, "I just need to apologise to Lewis, also to everyone on the team who worked so hard to making it a great end for him. He was the quicker guy with that kind of setup that we chose on the car, also to experiment for next year, and we totally let him down. Idiotic mistake of not going earlier, inexcusable. I'm really so down about what has happened. This is the worst part of it because it was just idiotic." And I'm so glad Toto Wolff has come out and said this, because I thought they were really going to use the bollard situation in the last couple of corners, getting stuck under his car, as really a kind of a get out clause for them, to paper over the cracks, or just as a deflection tactic of them sending both drivers out too late, because it could easily have been George who went out as well. It could have been a double elimination for both the Mercedes if George got caught in dirty air as well. He didn't, fortunate enough to have a bit more cleaner air than Lewis, who got stuck in the dirty air of Jack Doohan for the majority of his lap. So all of that was just totally avoidable, and I'm glad Toto Wolff has held his hands up and acknowledged that, because yeah, you could have easily used the deflection of the bollard, but still testing, still using Lewis as a test subject for next year, which I kind of get, to be honest with you. People who are maybe upset about that, look, the driver that's always on the way out becomes the sacrificial lamb, shall we say, especially when you've got a driver stepping up to be the number one next year. You want to build that driver's confidence up and use the more experienced driver as the data point, the benchmark for new setups and so forth. And this time around, though, it seems that those changes have made a difference, because the car looks better under Lewis this weekend, and that shows in the way that he's been driving and how confident he's felt. So it's just a shame that he's now going to be starting from 18th if there's no extra penalties that drivers are taking, because that is a lot of work to do, even from 18th, to then make it into the points or be up to the top 5 on the podium, which is where I think a lot of people would have loved to have seen Lewis finish his Mercedes career in or on. But at the end of the day, this last 3 years in his current regulation set with Mercedes has not gone well whatsoever, and I think a lot of Lewis Hamilton fans, myself included, will be very much looking forward to him driving that Ferrari next year and starting afresh and having a mental reset as well. But Lewis wasn't the only shock exit in qualifying, we lost Charles Leclerc. Now, of course, the constructors, while it's still a bit of an outside shot of 21 points that is required to close down McLaren, Ferrari on McLaren, that is, for the constructors, Charles Leclerc, of course, was already on the back foot with that penalty that is being dished out to him for a brand new battery unit, 10-place grid penalty. But for him to not make it out of Q2, qualify 14th, and now start from the back of the grid. Now, he's not starting 20th because Colapinto is taking a gearbox penalty. So because Leclerc and Ferrari got their penalty in there first, those who then are taking penalties that take them to the back of the grid, you then basically get count back in essence because you submitted it first. You go up the extra position. So, yeah, he's starting 19th, and even with a brand new power unit, even with a brand new battery unit, I don't think he's going to have the pace advantage to make his way to the top of the standings, especially with an all front row lockout of McLaren. It's definitely within their hands. Who knows, maybe Norris will have one of his trademark starts and spice it all up for us, but even then, Piastri's there to mop up, isn't he? And they only need a win, regardless of who it is, to secure that championship. But a real shame for him. All his own doing. Slight off track at turn 1. And we saw a couple of drivers very, very nearly get their lap times deleted. Actually, they did, and then they got reinstated in the form of Piastri and Sergio Perez. So they were both fortunate. But I think the biggest shock is not Lewis Hamilton going out in Q1. It's not Charles Leclerc going out in Q2. It's not even Nico Hülkenberg out qualifying Max Verstappen into P4. As great of a performance that is from Nico Hülkenberg. Well done, Nico Hülkenberg. No, it's in the form of Valtteri Bottas sticking a stake F1 car in potentially his last ever F1 race into Q3 and sticking it a position ahead of Sergio Perez. Unbelievable from Valtteri Bottas, and hopefully this man ends this season with at least 1 point, because he damn well deserves it. He doesn't deserve to finish on a big fat 0, does he? He's had some great drives this year that should have warranted some points, but that Stake F1 car has been way off the pace. But at the end of this season, they've bought some upgrades, and they seem to have caught up to the midfield. If only they'd done this earlier on in the season, you know? So, yeah. Hopefully he can convert it, and that'll be double points 2 weekends in a row where Stake have scored points. That would be great end to the season for them, and also be a great end to the season for Nico Hülkenberg, because the team that he's moving to next year are on the up, and he's not going to a team that are just all the way at the back of the grid. So, yeah, be interesting. Looking forward to the race, the last race of the season. An interesting qualifying. I have said that this season has provided us many shocks. It was an unexpected season, and fingers crossed, just as qualifying just did, we have some unexpected surprises and shocks in the last race of the season. Because Abu Dhabi needs it, doesn't it? Because it's not the best race circuit, it's not the best finale, and yeah, hopefully we don't see McLaren just drive off into the distance and win the race by 20 plus seconds. Come on, this give us some intrigue to finish off 2024. But as always, we'll be live tomorrow for the race watch along, our last of the season. Be sure to tune in, hit that like and subscribe button, turn that notification bell on so that you'll be notified half an hour before I go live. You'll never miss a live stream again or a video that I post. So yes, we will see you for one more time in 2024 season, and then we'll do all the post review season stuff afterwards. So we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.